FutureDad 42. Everything new takes 4 times as long. Quote, all public projects are mausoleums, not always in shape, but always in cost. Ayn Rand. It is ironic that this essay is number 42. In it, I claim there's a deceptively simple answer to life. Just to life, not also to the universe and everything. It is quite plain and recognizable in your everyday life. Its ramifications are chilling once you understand. It is, everything new takes a lot longer than you expect, usually 4 times as long. DIY. At the start of a new DIY project, take a moment to estimate how long it will take. You will be resistant to doing this because it adds admin on top of something you already don't want to do. Indulge me. Be honest with yourself and write it down. It will be worth it, because you will discover that the job takes approximately 4 times as long as your estimate. It happened today. I started a project to relocate an internal door handle and snib lock mechanism, something I'd never attempted before. The project was motivated by the door handle being wobbly, because it seemed the original holes for its holding screws were too large. So I had to A, move the handle down by 10 centimeters and B, fill the original hole left behind. I list below a variety of things that went wrong, including the things I didn't anticipate having to do. What can go wrong will. When I first took out the internal mechanism of the door handle to examine it, a small cylindrical component fell out of its sleeve. I tried putting it back in, but it wouldn't fit, no matter what I tried. That was a major problem. The part had no identifying marks, and I didn't know its function. It could be crucial to the smooth functioning of the door handle. I concluded there can't be any unnecessary parts of a door handle mechanism, so I decided to replace the whole thing. It took 45 minutes to get a new mechanism from a hardware shop. One hole after another. The replacement mechanism was the right length, but slightly wider, so I had to make the new hole bigger. I'd already drilled it before losing the mystery part. Bigger than the circular drill bit I had bought in anticipation of the project. Drilling a hole in wood is easy with the right drill bit, but making a pre-existing hole bigger, evenly, all the way in, with the same drill bit is difficult and time-consuming. That added another half hour. Kindly observe the cascade effect already taking place. One unforeseen problem causing another. Whoops. Having expanded the hole, I inserted the new mechanism. When I screwed in the handles, I was so obsessively focused on making sure they were both firmly appointed, but also turned smoothly, that I put the door handles on the wrong way. They stuck out from the edge of the door, and it wouldn't shut. This was quite an embarrassing realization, and I'm glad no one was there to witness it or hear about it afterwards. Anyway, by this stage I was exhausted after having worked on it for over 3 hours without a break. Soft metal. I pushed on. Now I had to unscrew the handles and put them on the right way. But another problem arose. When I originally screwed them in, the wrong way, I'd used sufficient force to make the screw head warped and unusable. Who knew that metal could be so soft and pliant? In effect, a normal star screwdriver no longer worked. So I had to use pliers to manually wiggle and pull and scrape the mangled screws out. That took another half hour to fix. Filling up. The door handles were finally in their new place. Filling the original hole left behind took careful finessing of the wood filler around the compacted paper inside the hole to bulk it out. Once smooth, it took much longer to dry than the label suggested. Add to that the repeated sanding and painting, it took an additional hour in total. I'm not even including the time it took to dry between filler applications and coats of paint because I went away and did something else. Post-mortem. Even the clean-up afterwards was unexpectedly time-consuming. There were many tools, screws, painting items and thingamabobs strewn across the room, principally caused by the lack of a workshop, and the various creative solutions used to fix errors. It took another half an hour just to make everything look good as new. These are just the highlights. In the end, what I estimated would be a quick 2-hour job took close to 8 hours. Important distinction. It was the first time I'd relocated a door handle, and I had to be creative with solutions and figure it out as I went. The crucial classification here is that this was a new project. It was symptomatic of being new, with all the classic hallmarks of unforeseen errors and complications caused by that newness. Generalizing. This is just one personal example, but it made me think, can we generalize this with the principles at play? Does this happen with every new thing? Simply put, yes. Yes, it does. A new slide deck for a project at work, going on a road trip somewhere new, learning how to wash a suit in a washing machine, creating a YouTube video for the first time. It always takes 4 times longer than you think, every single time. Not satisfied? Okay, a very famous example. UK and France started construction on the English Channel Tunnel in 1974. It was opened to the public in 1994, 20 years later. Guess how long it was planned to take? That's right, 5 years. Is it ever 3 times longer or only twice as long? It's possible. It probably means a calculational oversight. You probably ignored the time spent on one part of the activity, for example, planning the route to the hotel or finding the right tool. Dark implication. What's the significance of this colossal and systematic forecasting gap? It is of massive significance to the way we think about planning, and specifically, it highlights the persistently naive optimism we have of the future. Considering that we all think about the future every day and what we will do in it, it couldn't be any more foundational in our lives. We are, all of us, hopelessly incapable of non-linear forecasting. Yes, of course we can accurately forecast the time to walk to the train station that we walk to every day. It's not new, and there are no variable components. But we simply cannot grasp the myriad ways that a new activity or project can be delayed by any of the unknowns concealed within it. Conclusion. Practically speaking, the reasonable conclusion is that our time estimates on something new are garbage and should be ignored as the fantasy that they are. Multiply forecast by 4 if you prefer something closer to reality, especially in a world of anti-meritocratic hiring. See FutureDad 45, competence is indistinguishable from magic. My multiplier of 4 rule of thumb is somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but it cuts to an even deeper problem we face as a civilization. If you cannot individually forecast how long it takes to do a single, straightforward new thing, then the idea of relying on the forecasted time and therefore cost of a new civilizational project is preposterous. The problems of forecasting are gigantically amplified across such scale. It means we always have absolutely no idea how a given socio-political initiative will end up costing us all. By extension, we have absolutely no chance of conceiving what hastily conceived, sweeping changes will do to society. Howard Roark said in The Fountainhead that there is no such thing as a collective brain. When we pretend there is as a solution to complex societal ills, we pretend that unknowable things are forecastable. It is an act of colossal hubris to imagine one is an exception to this. Unfortunately, the top-down utopianist planners of medical lockdowns, net zero, 15-minute cities, mass immigration, and anything else of obvious non-linearity and far-reaching impact always indulge in this fantasy. So think of this when you next see an estimate of a complex infrastructural project, say building a viable human settlement on Mars. If the expert consensus is that it will take 50 years, the smart money is on it taking 2 centuries. Minimum. FutureDad.